All right, folks, we're back. So we're in the penultimate session here. So people ask for some vectors and bearings. I'm not sure we're going to do both sets, but let me see how we come up, right? Yeah, I got during the break, I got a call. I called my teacher, account. So he gave me his opinion in the exam after he sat and thought about it. Long story short, he felt the exam was fair, and he presented good points and good arguments. So I don't agree fully, but I understand where he's coming from. His point is that the statement of account is 2 marks out of the whole paper. So to panic over that and to make a fuss about it, right? And then he also said that when he used to take part in question creation at the table, well, when I say this, so they used to meet at a table, right? At a place. He was saying that, so he might do a question and they would say, okay, can a student find a question like this in a textbook? No. Okay, so therefore it's classified as not being fair. So, okay, cool. So when he came to question 4 now, I said, what about that thing about being able to find a textbook? And then someone had a different opinion. So that one kind of bugged me. Like, I don't understand how it could work for one or the other. But maybe I wasn't paying attention. Could be, right? Because I hold his opinions and his... So he was saying that because they have this thing called the error carried forward rule, which is where if you make a mistake in, let's say, a part A and part B feeds off of that, you don't get penalized in part B for it, right? But then and he agrees. He says, but having a topic span 2 questions has never been done, right? He didn't say how they're not supposed to do it, and I'm saying, but what about all these other topics we can study? People studying all these other things because it's never been done where you have put one topic over 2 questions. We're expecting at least 5 different topics, and then now, well, you can do a balance sheet. That's fine. Yeah, you could do that. That's not a problem. Right? Anyhow, and he was saying for the investments, it was doable. You know, the funny, but here the part that I found interesting. So he said when he came here that same evening, he asked Mikhail how the exam was, and Mikhail said the exam was real good. That's what he said. I don't know, maybe it was. Well, next thing he come with the only one in the class, eh? So be careful. Huh? Alright. What am I doing? I forget. No, I don't want that. I want this. Anyway. But my intention was actually to go to ChatGPT and actually ask it to give me counterpoints to everything you gave me yesterday. So that I was supposed to do that later when class finished. Right? Okay. You're not where he is? No, you're not online right now. In any case, don't do that. Don't 2, 4, 5, 7, and 4 is 11, and 3 is 13. Okay, cool. So I need 14 copies of this, right? All right. Hey, thanks for sharing, guys. Skeleton, bearings. Not yet. We commented just now. Jay, unless you have the paper to show me, I don't believe that. Right? The paper leak. You wanted us just now, it was on 1978. Well, next thing, as you see tomorrow. Alright, guys. I printed out the May 2024 fall here. We'll do that. I copied the Jan 2025, but it kind of. I have no idea. Right. So here the thing. I do not know where that message came from. It was sent to me by someone in this class, right? Now, I do not know the individual in question who allegedly wrote the message. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. Maybe he likes to feel important. Because the student also said that the guy had the 2025 Jan before it came out. Right? Did he see it? No. How we know? He had it. Okay. Let me say there's a small percentage that he did. Does that change what we have to do to prep for the exam? No. Right? So whether the exam come hard tomorrow, it come easy, or it come in between, which it probably will, in between, we have a job. Perfect. Learn maths, do maths. Right? Because I have heard things like that about accounts. I have heard things about where students up in the East and Central in lessons the day before the exam, and the teacher bring a question, right? From a piece of paper, write it on the board, do that. Okay, cool. Next day in the exam, they see the same thing. Now, again, allegedly, I wasn't in the class. I don't know anybody who was in the class. Nobody tell me, right? But it's very important that whatever you hear, you can't believe right away, especially stuff like that. Every year, people will say, it leak, it leak, it leak. Like, okay. Now, in 2023, unfortunately, that was the reality, right? And 2008. So, it's not impossible, but it is unlikely, right? Especially since when the protocols get breached, they tighten it up. It's supposed to. You know, right? But our job is not to take on what they say, right? What's that? Uh-huh. Well, if it isn't a good leak before you set it, then they can't give it to you because it's a meaningless exam, right? If you're huh? In the house. Or in 2020, it's 2008 when it leaked. The paper counting in the two people also leaked. And they did a separate paper for both of those subjects that the Trinidad students did later on. You gotta come back and do over the paper, right? Also happened, I think, in Guyana in 2000s. I have a paper. So it had Trinidad and entire rest of the region. That's what I say, right? In 2023, however, they just scrap the whole paper and say, okay, let's take paper one, paper three, again. Right? It cannot be a norm. No, it was not. I remember. It was not. That was just 2 years ago. No, 2023. So what happened was a lot of people didn't take on that day. John got a phone. Well, people feel like yeah. But a lot of people do take on that. And that's now half your mark. Yes, there's not half the mark. Well, no, but when you take off the okay, it's 40% different. Yeah. Oh, that's what happened. If people want to ask me questions, then yes, they is. Yes. I agree. I like how Chris says it. I think Chris just enjoying the learning. What time? I'm like going through all this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so apparently I didn't click current page. I just put print. So we just set the paper and ink again. So current page. Cool. So let me try that again. Right. And while that printing, I'm going to copy and paste the question into OneNote so anybody else who's online who can cast any paper to could see it. Not right in the back. Yeah, boy, I hear you. I hear you. All these complications. Maddening complications. I'm gonna zoom in just now, guys. Yeah, what's up?
So sorry, I'm off with example 25 here.
Is any center? Yeah. Yeah, and you can do each one of those one at a time. But I guess just on this side. If you have time, just maybe show him the inverse. Yeah. So positive scale factors for now. All right. So let me give all the papers in class and we're gonna start, right? Okay. Hold on, extra one in case anybody else show up. All right, folks. So we're gonna attempt this to rehash some of the vectors questions that we were 30. All right. So Liam and Logan is in May 2024. All right. All right, guys. I'll check the comments in a little bit. I know there are plenty coming in. So we started late. But our car really crossed 6 o'clock in this class. So we're gonna get a little short change here. In the last class, we will try to start back on time, 6:30 to 8:30, and then call our Georgia, right? Because I have to do an little post about our POA exam, about an opinion that was shared with me a little while ago by someone with it, whom I hold in high regard and still do, and probably will for the rest of my life, right? Okay. In the pentagon, OABCD, the exam is tomorrow. Right. In the pentagon, OABCD, OA is, what's that word there? Parallel, right. Right. OA is parallel to DC. Where's OA? OA is here. Where's DC? Here. Right. Now, with parallel lines, sorry, and then it go on to also tell us what, just now, who's that now? Oh, Hanifa. All right. Hey, good afternoon, Hanifa. How you doing? Good to have you on. All right. So there is the first question we started in the vectors revision. So yeah, really miss much, right? Let's see what that is now. Got this stuff toy that he needs out of carry across. But let me just start you off with this one, right? Okay, so in this pentagon, OA is parallel to DC, right? And then AB is parallel to OD, as you can see by the double arrows, right? So the arrows on the lines indicates being mutually parallel. So the two blue lines are mutually parallel. The two yellow lines are also mutually parallel. So we have scope for, so if we were to extend this line here, we have scope for F angles. But I mean, with the vectors, we don't really get angles. So that's not something we should really worry about. But when vectors are parallel, there is a relationship between them. It's called a scalar relationship, right? So parallel vectors have a scalar relationship. Right? So let me give a little example it's not related to the question, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, right? So example. So let's say I have one vector. Let's call that, so they use A and B already. Okay, cool. Let's say I had a vector which was OX, right? And let's say OX had components 3 and 4. And let's say I had another vector OY, and OY had components 6 and 8, right? So let me zoom in a little bit, right? So what I wanted to observe is the horizontal components and the vertical components between the vectors, right? Is there any kind of relationship or connection between 3 and 6? What is this? 6 is a multiple of 3. What multiple? 2, right? What about 8 and 4? The same thing. So you could kind of, I mean, if you want, you could even talk about factorizing, right? So OY, if you pull out 2 as the scalar factor here, you'll get 3 and 4 in the bracket. And you can multiply like a distributive law, 2 by 3 and 2 by 4, right? But if OX itself is 3, 4, we could write this, we could state that, hey, look, based on the above, OY is equal to 2 times OX. Are we okay with that? And we could also state it from the opposite way. We could say that, hey, OX is actually equal to half of OY, right? So parallel vectors have what you call a scalar relationship, and that one vector is like a multiple of the other. All right, so are we okay with that in class, people? Any questions, anybody, anything? All right, Liam, Liam, Hanifa, and Logan. If you're good with that, give me a quick Genie chat. Kadisha, it'll be up once I stop the thing. But yeah, I see. Yeah, with auto. That's correct. Okay, cool. So what that means is that those two blue highlighted lines or vectors have a scalar relationship, right? So clearly, which one is bigger, OD or AB? OD, right? So OD, it'll be some multiple of AB. It might be 2, it might be 3 over 2. We don't know. And OA and DC also have a scalar relationship because the question says that they are mutually parallel. And we can see the arrows on them as well. So obviously, OA is the bigger of the two. So OA will be some multiple of DC, probably 2 times DC or something. Right? Again, we don't know for sure. Yeah. I don't know for sure, but what we're going to do now, we're going to dig in a little bit and find out, right? Right, now let's take a look at this item here, right? So it says OD is 2 times AB. So OD is 2 times AB. Well, look at that, they told us. All we have to do is read the next line, right? And then OA, hold on, let me give it different colors, right? Let's box it off too, right? So OD is equal to 2 times AB. And then OA, let me just get a slightly heavier point on that thing there, right? Right? OA is equal to 2 times DC. So OA is 2 times DC. So in each case, each of the bigger vectors here is simply double the smaller one, right? You understand how you get 2OX? All right, what I'm saying is that if OY is 6, 8, right? And OX is 3, 4, if I wanted to get from OX to OY, I would simply double each of these. And by doubling, I mean multiply by 2, right? So OY is 2 times, literally 2 times OX. Yeah. Well, usually they would. Otherwise, we won't be able to establish a relationship, right? Unless they give us like an actual length. But even if they have lengths, it's not the length. Remember, you have to have the same, if it's parallel, they have to have the same gradient, right? And with the components, so let's say the horizontal and vertical, if you have like a 3 and a 4, and then you have a 6 and an 8, right? It'll follow on the same line. If you have a 3 and a 4 and then a 3 and a 5, it won't, right? Because it'll have to arc up a little extra. Yeah, it's almost like if you have a, yeah. So let's say you had a 3, 4 here, but 3, 5 would be a little higher. So like you have a triangle with things like that, right? So when it's like 3, 4 and it's here, and then when it's 6, 8 is there, you can just follow like that, right? All right, cool. You understand? Okay, lovely, thanks. Glad to hear it. Okay, right, okay. So what it's saying, all right, and these 2 pieces here are also very important, right? So, right, so OA, no, come on, man, Philip, don't move the thing. All right, so OA is small a. AB is small b. And you can see those things actually on the diagram. OA is small a and AB is small b. So what they want, right? They said find in terms of A and B in simplest form. They want the vector AD and they want the vector BC. What they're asking us to do is give us a way to get from point A to point D by moving along the lines. Now we can only move along the lines for which we have vectors. So for example, we can clearly see the two vectors circled in blue, A and B, right? There are no vectors explicit on OD or DC, but we know what? That OD is equal to 2 times what? AB. So if AB is simply vector B, OD would be 2 times B. Similarly, if we have if we have OA is 2 times DC, so OA is 2 times DC, right? That means that you have to flip it, right? That DC is equal to a half of OA, and this would be a half A.
You're not going through this section.
Yeah, well, I kind of done it. Right, so guys, what I want you to do is I want you to tell me how I'm going to get from point A. Actually, no, let me, after kind of walk this one as the first one. Richard, yeah, paper 2. Yeah. What, Carolyn, this is the vectors, right? That's open. That's probably, might be killer. Oh, Michael, hey, Michael, here's back. All right, cool. Yeah, I cannot double book the room, so I have her students and you also. Just to make sure. But I mean, I guess when Killer she reach, so we'll let it organize. Yeah, how
So transformations is like the one. So I was cool with getting the enlargement from the sensor.
Right.
Extremely confused as when it's not the sensor.
I don't think you'd have to do that in his form. So just stick with the center for now.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
So do, like I said, do a whole number so he scales up.
Yeah.
Do a fraction so he scales down. And if you still have more time, then do a negative whole number.
Okay, so just kind of stick with the sensor.
Yeah. Oh, hey guys, how you doing? All right, I kind of. You really have any room in the corner? It have 2 there, but then this class gonna be kind of loud, so keep them inside for now. And then just keep them boys in check. He'll be here like in about 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, well, cool. And then they finishing at, you all finishing at 6. And then they might start like about, well, 5:15, 5:05. So it shouldn't be a big deal. Yeah? All right, sorry. Yeah, guys, sorry. Right, so check it. They want us to get or to explain.
Sorry, last thing.
Yeah, what's up?
I know I didn't say this in the instructions, so I'm making sure that I'm not having it or something that like you can't do.
Okay.
I rammed the first example. I rammed you how I got it, but I told them to close it on this graph as well.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's fine. Right. How did I get half? Well, Lumik, think about this, right? Let me say, so we're looking at OA, the green one, right? At the green, right? The green OA is equal to 2 times this. So OA is 2 times this one here, right? Let me get some numbers, right? So let me say this side here was what? Let me say it was 4. If OA is 2 times DC, that means it's 8. If we had to state it from the opposite side, right? And express DC in terms of OA, right? It means that this is half of that. So that's how I got DC is half of OA, right? I simply stated the item box off in the green from the other side of it. I could do page 33. Page 33 is what? The matrices. We might have done that in the last class tomorrow. How did I get 2B? Well, they told me here that OD is 2 times AB. If AB is given by B and OD is 2 times that, 2 times B is just 2B. All right? Okay, cool. Right. Right, so sorry. So let me come back to where I was talking about. Yeah, folks. So we want to get A and D. So this vector AD, every vector has a starting point, which is the first letter, an ending point, which is the second letter, and the arrow indicating the direction of travel. Now, conventionally, we only go from left to right with the arrows, right? We don't go from right to left, right? So if I want to get from point A to point D, I have to travel along the edges of the shape. So I could go from A to B, B to C, and then C to D. I could do that. But the problem there is, do I have any information about BC? No, I don't. It's not parallel to any of the other lines. I have no letter on it indicating a vector. So I can't go that way. So I could go the other way. Right? A to O, and then O to D. And it's actually it's shorter, right? Instead of 3 things after the 2, right? So come the man, Philip, behave thyself, right? Nope, nope, nope. Hold on just now. 1 second. Right. Right. No, why did it disappear? Okay. Right. So to go from A to D, I have to first go from A to O plus O to D. All right, cool. Now, with vectors, and when you're traveling along the shapes, right? Again, you're traveling along the sides, along the edges, from one vertex to an X, from one big letter to the next. So here, you have to figure out the big letter vectors, right? So you go from A to O, that's this vector. Then from O to D, that's this vector, right? And when you're combining them, that's why I have an add in the middle, right? AO, then OD. Rebecca, right? The bus down some maths, nice. Now, check this, right? To go from A to O, am I traveling in the same direction as this arrow here? I'm traveling in the opposite direction. Now, the vector small a, goes in the direction of O to A. If I want to go backwards along the line, I have to do something called inverting the vector. Inverting the vector simply means going in the opposite direction. And how I do so is I simply put a minus sign in front of the vector, right? So AO is the inverse or reverse of OA, all right? And then I want to go from O to D, right? I want to go, I have to get AD, right? So if I have to get AD, I have to go from there to there, right? Okay. Now, minus OA, if the vector along here is small a, the inverse will just be minus A. And then to go from O to D, it's just going to be 2B. So you can leave it like that, right? Or you could put it as 2B minus A. All right? Yeah, so I did the first one for you. So what I want you to do is obviously I want you to do the second one, but obviously I can't put it there, right? So yeah. If I had the what? No, that's fine. You could leave it like this or the other way. That's perfectly fine. Expressing it like this is purely optional, right? 2B minus A and minus A plus 2B mean the same thing, right? So what I want you all to do now, I'm going to give you all, well, the one they wanted you to do initially, which is BC, right? And I'm going to give you guys an extra one. Huh? Wherever you could find a space to do it, right? Just because I want you all to have something to practice. I have to carry this across from my son. It'll take me like 7 to 8 minutes to do that. Father Cheeks. Miss Gina say, tell Josiah I said hi. All right. He says hi back. Father Cheeks is All right, cool. Right, so we did AD. We did BC. Okay, so I'll give you a relatively easy one. OC. Okay, guys, I have to run off to carry this back from my son. Ariel, yes, very good. Inti and Mas, that's a pressure. Suki, what's going on? Good job. Rebecca, nice to see you. All right, chats are coming back. If anything, Paige will just entertain you all. I will educate. Oh, okay, maybe. Huh? This is my son. Comfort animal, security animal. So he forgot it in the car. So if he's having a bottle of tin, he wants it, and it's not there, all hell will break loose. So I'm going to rectify that. All right, guys. So I'll be back in like 8 minutes. Yo.
Jayden wants to do OCC.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can I do OC?
Just yeah. If you don't have enough room there, just scroll to whoever however, right? Page your trim also getting different colors on it, right? Guys, have a class inside. Please don't make too much noise, all right?
Hey, Chris said distinction is not a real thing. I go take out
One step.
yeah. So you're taking straight for it? So you're taking straight for it?
Like all four now. Yes, he did. Go lead it out.
To be honest, I thought 9 hours are even bigger than Boston. I thought it was actually ready for their
I would give my child.
Hi guys, I'm back to entertain. How are we?
Diamond one.
So, guys, I'm back to entertain. How are we? BC. Okay. Jadon is gonna come and explain BC to you just now. Khalifa's coming to tell you hi.
I'm going to tell Hanifa how fake she is for not joining.
She could hear you on this mic. Okay, guys.
Hi, Hanifa.
So B is okay. Jadon is gonna explain everything. I'm not ready for math tomorrow. I'm actually gonna crash out because I've been distracted. I literally moved just now because I don't understand. What? Jam.
Hanifa, how do you feel not being here?
Top shutter page, exactly all you know. I like how you start to like me now. Before you didn't like that. And if you're talking, I can't hear you, babe.
Anyways,
Really loud.
yeah, let's get to the equation.
Hanifa, Julie
Wait,
says she
no,
misses
we
you.
haven't started yet.
Oh, we
because
haven't
Jaden's
started.
coming to. Are y'all done with the part 2 so Jaden? Thank you. Are y'all done with the part 2 so Jaden can explain? Because Jaden's gonna explain part 2, I'm gonna explain part 3. Thank you for calling me pretty. We do know what we're doing. We do know. Chat can be looking exactly, but are you all ready? I do pay attention to Chris, I really do. It's just today I was kind of not focused. Now you go through, come. Now you explain BC. Okay guys, Jaden's coming. Sit down and you gotta tell them what to do.
Alright, cool.
Oh, you want me to show you how to do it? Okay.
Yeah, explain how to use this.
So look, what you're doing is you just pick a color.
Alright, do blue. I like blue.
Okay. To erase, you just kind of have to move this around at a weird angle. Go to.
Alright, cool. So for BC, we're moving from this point here. Normal log, to C. Alright, right. So we're going from B to C. So the same way how we have to go from A to D, we have to do the same thing from B to C. So, my handwriting is real bad. I just learned, Right, but anyway, so it'll be
I'll rewrite it from after.
BA. No, it's like real bad. I don't
You
know
want
what to
me to write it? Well,
okay,
you-
right.
right.
You write it for me.
And then you speak it. Okay.
Dog one.
Equals.
Right, so right, B to A,
BA
and then A to O,
plus AO. Plus or minus AO.
plus AO,
Plus AO
and then plus OD,
plus OD
plus DC.
plus DC. Right?
Cool. So now put an X equals, right?
Equals.
So now we have to put what the actual vectors are. So because this arrow is pointing the opposite way, and we have to go the other way, we have to put minus B. So right, put minus B for me now.
Minus B.
Minus B. I can't write down. Yeah, so minus B plus. So you see the vectors going upwards. Put a common B. Yeah, put a common B. But yeah. Right, so because this vector is going that way, upwards, erase off. Right here. Because the vector is going upwards, and we have to go the opposite direction, which is this way, right, whatever. It would be negative, so put minus A.
Minus A. Just point out where you want me to put an arrow to.
Right. And now we're going from O to D, so put arrow there. Right. And because that's the direction of where the vectors are already facing, you're just gonna put plus 2B. And then finally, because again, the direction that we have to go is the correct direction of the vector, we'll just put plus a half A. Yeah, and that's
Yes, guys, say that.
Simplify it.
I know that.
It's not even like that.
What do you mean?
Simplify it to be minus A.
Which equals 2B plus minus B. 2B minus B.
Yeah, 2B minus B. Minus A plus half A.
Minus A plus half A, which equals. Now, what does that equal?
B minus half A.
What?
B minus half A.
B minus half A.
Right, and that's the simplified version, right? Boom.
Right. Okay, y'all understand that? I hope. Now, Chris put OC, right? I'm real white boy. Wow. Okay. Can y'all shut up, please? Thank you. So, now we have. That's Noah, by the way, guys. So now we have OC, okay? So what we're gonna do is OC equals. Now you see how it's going OD? It's going the right direction. Same thing Jadon said, so OD. And then plus DC. Right? So we really should, because we move faster. Anyway. So now you see how OD equals 2B? Right there? So 2B plus and then half A. That's it. It's really easy. But yeah. So that one was really simple. Yeah. What to see? O to C? So basically, A plus half A? I know, because Jaden wanted to do the difficult one, right? Trust me. Anyway, so look, O to C, O to D, sorry, equals 2B, right? D to C equals half A. Yeah, you just add it. Yeah. No, I didn't choose the easier one, guys. Jaden just wanted to do the hard one. And I wrote out Jaden, so like rest me now. Right, rest me. Even Jaden say true. Nine. What's the last part? What? It is. A, D, and B, C. Not really though. You so right. Wait. Okay, guys, I'm kind of slow. But do y'all understand that? Because I can re-explain. And Jadon handwriting, my handwriting doing Jadon's thing was red. So sorry about that. Wow. My handwriting looks great. Trust me. Thank you. Isis been in the chat. Isis been in the chat since yesterday.
Let me do some shout outs today. Shout out Suki D. Shout out to Lincoln Rampasad. Shout
Suki,
out
you go Dego Sec.
shout out Free Fire. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Ariel. And yeah, that is it. Cameron, nah. It is not good.
Yeah, big man saying Suki, you go and Dego Sec. Aisha Jones, shout out.
Shout out
Shan.
to Tiana.
Life with Tiana.
Shout out to Mia Lake. That was here.
Shout out Choco77, the man always in the chat.
Shout out Doubles.
I have no
Hey,
idea.
my man Doubles, boy. When last one, I had Doubles. I mean, when I while boy open up
I
a
have
stand
another
now.
double Cinderella.
Yeah, boy, serious.
Tassina, Alan. Tachina, Tassina, Takina. I don't know how to pronounce your name, G. Y'all, I'm also gonna teach y'all how to draw a pig. Okay, so what we're gonna do is it's gonna be one circle, one big circle, one circle, one big circle, half a circle, one big circle, WWE. And that's how to draw a pig. No, I'm drawing. I don't know.
Shout out to Daniel in the chat.
No, I'm doing something. Okay, and now there once was a man with no arms. He was chased by bees. I'm doing my thing. So he jumped into a lake, climbed 2 hills and got shot twice. Went to heaven and grew 2 wings. Now you have a doggy.
And we like to trying to see who taller between you and Jaden, right?
Yeah, I was showing them how to draw a dog. I love my mom. Why you drawing Rowley is insane. Why you drawing Matt Rowley? Yo, I'm not following. I says that is a dog. Yo. Can I have the pencil?
What happened?
I'm not doing this. Chris, if you come back, I'm not doing this. I just do a dog and a pig.
Yo.
Follow my IG at love Basha with 3 S's at the end. Thank you.
Y'all, I didn't tell y'all to follow nobody, yeah? Do not come and tell Chris that Paige was doing
They
things.
will
I just like
definitely
to
not see
entertain
that.
all, yeah? Don't hope for these things on these. What? Yeah, y'all, don't hope for the paper to get leaked, please. Don't hope for the paper to get leaked. No, I think it got leaked, but he was showing us a 1978 paper. No, because the thing is, Chris lets us do it. Do number 3.
No, come on to this.
We haven't done number 3 yet because we want Chris to explain that because we don't know how to explain it to you. It's icy, ISIS. Jaden, check now. Jaden, check if icy is ISIS. It is? BC is half of 80, yeah. Are you ever doggy? Right, guys, so I'm gonna reteach y'all how to draw a dog because I got taken advantage, like my thing got taken. Okay, so there once was a man with no arms. He got chased by bees, so he jumped into a lake, climbed 2 mountains, got shot twice, went to heaven and grew 2 wings. You calling me Chris?
Wait.
You calling me Chris? Lincoln, what do you mean by finding life for the rest of? And then, I ready for bearings too. Big mom thing, I need help in bearings. Anyway, and then a pig is 1 circle, 1 circle, 1 big circle. 1 circle, 1 circle, 1 big circle. Half a circle, 1 big circle. WWE. Oh, Nyla, he said AD equals AO plus OA. Yeah, we did. Lincoln, we did that already. OD.
Lincoln, you
Basically, Chris had to go and help his teacher, his son. So he actually, can you hush please? He went to go and walk to give something to his son, so he asked me to entertain you. And I did the answer for the question, so did Jada. And I will leave it up for y'all. But I've been trying to entertain y'all so that y'all stay on the live. But yeah, guys. Does anyone need me to re-explain anything? The dog did go through a lot. It got chased by bees, jumped into a lake, and got shot twice. That is the dog from English. Chris, we did the first 2 questions and I taught them how to draw a pig and a dog. Yeah, because I didn't know how else to explain. What else to explain to them?
Okay, hold on. See those 2
Can I write it?
on the side? That means in magnitude all the length. So state the conclusion about AD and BC. Yeah, AD is double BC.
Okay, so not let's
Chris, can I write it? Can I write the answer? What is it?
conclusion that can be drawn, right? So the conclusion that can be drawn from the response of AD and BC is that AD is 2 times BC or double BC. I mean, you can put that. That's not wrong.
You get it wrong.
It's not a wrong statement.
If I put that and double.
But the thing is, to see how they have the strokes, you're talking about the magnitude length. So you can't just say there's a scalar relationship because that wouldn't say the length.
I put that was AD and BC have a scalar relationship. And AD is double length.
That's fine. That's too much. That's fine. Right.
Page, don't phrase like that. Just say AD is double.
Take double. Just say AD equals to 2 times.
Oh yeah, on page, just put all 2 times.
That's just a little word. Make it funny.
Yeah. They asked about the magnitude of the vectors. Magnitude is length. All right. Yeah, make sure that I do not have stuff at 6 minutes. We do it now. We'll do it next one, right?
Okay.
All right.
But we need 2 graphs in the next one.
Yeah.
We need 2 graphs.
All right. All right. Hanifa, Liam, and Logan, if you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you guys are good with that, just come back with Genie chat now. If you need me to go over it, I will go over it. It's not a problem. I know some people understand better. Yeah. CPU talking now going on. That's an anti science tomorrow, bro. Yeah, guys, sorry I was gone so long when I went to Christmas. Son was sleeping. The 6-month-old was not. Yeah, sorry, Sean. Can I go over how you label 2B and 1/2 A? Yeah, okay, cool. Page code the question, right? 2B and 1/2 A. Okay, cool. Right, so let me just go back. Start. So just to confirm, right? Sorry. No, somebody asked me to re-explain how I got it, so I'm doing that, right? Okay, cool. Right, guys. So check it, right? So they told me here that OA is equal to A, and you can see that. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, you can see that on the graph there, right? And that AB is equal to small b, and we can see that on the graph here, right? Okay, now let's talk about this item here first, the pink one, right? OD, which is this line at the bottom here, is 2 times AB, right? So AB is given by small b as a vector for AB, small b. And if OD, which is the bottom line here, is 2AB, it means it's simply 2 times. I hate these things. Right, it's 2 times that. So this is 2 times that. OD is 2 times AB as given to us by this one here. All right. And if let's give them a little feedback if you're okay with that first piece, right? Nice. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Once you know what you're talking about, it's not a problem, right?
Well, my last was like correct, right? My second.
Yeah. Just not Danielle. I'm gonna just finish what you're doing. Is it Danielle or Danielle? Danielle. Right. Let me know specifically what you're saying. 1 second, page. Right. Now, for the other one, Hanifa, right? So they told us that OA, which is this piece here, is 2 times DC, which is this piece across here. So the vector, so the A, right? So OA, sorry. Right. So OA is equal to 2 times DC. Right? Now OA, they told us right next to it is given by small a. And small a is 2 times DC. So if you want to find DC, you're going to have to remove that 2. So when we divide by 2, we will get A over 2, which is equal to DC. Right. So therefore, an A over 2 is the same as a half A. It's A divided by 2, which is the same as finding a half A. So this piece here, DC, is a half A. All right. Hanifa, are we okay with that piece now? Oh, you said okay already? Oh, okay. I think. Right, okay. Daniel, hold on, Daniel. So Smiley said, go over which particular piece? Lumic. Y'all want what? Y'all want the part 2 and the part 3 re-explain, or y'all want the part down here re-explain? Shan, I want to do circle here. Shan, I have that. I have some graph questions I want to bring out for you, and they're asking for the next one. So this is vectors. Bearings up here. So I can't do all that. Right? Yeah, what? Wait. Just now, guys. Give me I know I just came back from somewhere, so I do apologize. Right? But here, guys, I can't do everything. But here, what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on my channel now. I'm going to go to my recordings of my class that are currently on the circle here. Right? 20, 24 here.
I'm gonna have my own class.
Isn't it broken? Yeah, I think that piece broken. 2024, just now, give me 1 second. So that's 11. I put math, M-A-T-S. Let me see if I can get this for you guys. Right, so circle geometry. Day 1? This is day 3. Okay, hold on. Okay, so hold on. I will put I'll make this public. This is day 4. All right. Make this public too. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll use a calculator as my calculator.
Downstairs here, no, sorry. I don't know. I don't think she's a could ask here. All right. Okay, so people on TikTok and people in the YouTube chat, I just made my recordings for circle geometry public, right? So you can check it. Construction, sorry, because of that. Graph next session, yeah. Yeah, guys. So can we do circle? Like I said, I made those recordings, so check on the channel for the lives, which is November last year. One of the first 2 I didn't make public because I want to get back to the questions here now, right? Okay, guys, yeah. Yeah, Lincoln, I hear you. I hear you. I can't do everything in one day, boy. Sorry. Okay, 2025 Jan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Let me just print this stuff out for those in class and we'll answer this one. All right? Neil, the exam gonna be hard tomorrow. Well, we'll see. We had to wait and see. I hope it's doable. All right, guys. So just give me a minute or 2 for it to print. What is construction? So Suki, like making a 60-degree angle or a 90-degree angle. Carolyn, we did motion graphs 2 days ago. Coordinate geometry. Check my lives. I have that from back in like around March. Yo. Hold on, Paige, before you.
Right, Chris, watch your check.
That's not correct.
That works too.
a few more online. But I didn't get a chance.
Right. Now, pass my book. It's so much fun. Great mark.
Almost like it's like influence, like she should become a sickness.
Is that sickness?
You know what to
Huh?
Guys.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Chris, it made my phone go alive.
I have an extra page too. Did someone not get a page two? We only have one page.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, look like you need to charge. I said your phone looks like it needs to charge. Oh yeah. Alright. We are cooked. Nah, you're not cooked. You're not cooked. If you're going to be cooked, at least season yourself so it tastes good. Okay, Jan 2025. Let's all right. Diagram below shows a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral means how many sides, guys? 4, right. OLMN, in which O is the origin. So O is the origin. So like it's like you have your graph, your X and Y, your X and Y coordinates, right? Right, in which O is the origin. OL is 4Y. So OL is this pink line here. And that is 4Y. OM is 6Z. Let's get a different color going so we can refer to these things a bit more easily. So OM is 6Z. Is that visible or do I need to put a thicker line? Right. Yes, Suki. Yeah, construction and geometry is a very important part of, in my opinion, of maths education. And they should really do more of it. It's quite fun, actually. Especially when you have so many more difficult ones, how you figure it out. That's the beauty in the math. All right. So I do bear in no, Selini, we were supposed to do bear in this session, but I had to run home real quick to drop something for my son, and he ended up sleeping. So I think I might shift bearings in the next section, but I just unlocked circle theorems on my channel. I will lock it back tomorrow, obviously, but yeah. Okay, your head hurting, right? Okay, right. So then we have an ON is 2x. Let's put that one in the blue, right? Whatever I made public is going to be goes back to unlisted as of tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yeah, you all have access to everything because you all will email the stuff or send it in the chat. Once you have the link, you can access it, right? So will you be coming for the exam? I like that one. If I pay attention to what I'm doing, I'll get close to 100. It's me. I know. Honestly, I'm not trying to sound egotistical, but I know most of this stuff on the paper, right? But to be honest, I make mistakes. What? Anyhow. To be honest, I probably won't get the 100 because I'll make a ship mistake somewhere, somehow. Right, the point A lies on LM, such that LA to AM is 1. Okay, so we have a ratios thing here. So let me just review that one time. This yellow line on top of here. We have a point A along that line. And what they are telling us with respect to that, right, is that the point A lies on LM, such that LA to AM is 1 to 2. Right, so we have we put this, yeah, ID kid over, yeah. Or another. So it's him. Right, so LM is one of the lines. A is a point on that line, and it cuts it up into two pieces, LA and AM. So the first things first, let's state that LA, if you take LA and you add AM onto it, what do we get? We get the whole line, LM. Are we okay with that statement? Yeah. Right. If you go from L to A and then A to M, it's the same as going all the way from L to M. Okay. Cool. Does you comment in the YouTube chat? Does you? Oh, okay. Right. LA plus AM. Now, what they're telling us here about this 1 to 2 thing is that LA to AM, the ratio, right, the relative lengths is 1 to 2. So what that means is that AM corresponds to the 2 and LA is the 1. So AM is 2 times LA, right? So AM is equal to 2 times LA, right? So this piece here is 2 times that piece. Now, how can we say that the next way? How can we express LA in terms of AM, right? LA would be 1/2 of AM. All right, so let me pause there for a second. So Hanifa, Liam, Logan, if you guys are good with that, let's give me a quick Genie chat. All right, if you need me to re-explain them, no, not a problem. I see it, yeah, that's Velox, yeah. Yo. I'll go in there now. Yeah. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. For B. Okay. Of that, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Right. So okay. So okay. Right. So it's not one. Yeah. But it's not 1/3. It's 1/3 of the whole. Let me go there now. Right. So now, like I was saying, when you give your hold on. Right. When they tell you that LA to AM is in the ratio 1 to 2. Right. What do we do with the numbers in the ratio? Add them. Right. So they come very often. Yes. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So what do we then do with that 3? We put each of the numbers over it. So LA is 1/3 and AM is 2/3. But of what? Of the larger line on which they both lie. So LA is equal to 1/3 of LM, right? So this is 1/3 of the whole line, right? And then AM is 2/3 of it. So AM is 2/3 of that line there. All right, cool. Right, so I asked them, so Logan, Liam, and Hanifa, no, I just asked all if you're good, but I have to ask if you're still good with the ratios part. So give me a G again if you guys good with the ratios part. Okay, cool. Solomon, Julian, only Christ can save us. Well, the interesting thing about that is my name is Christopher, so it has Christ in my name. My name literally means the bearer of Christ, so you're welcome. Yeah. Which is interesting because so it's like Christ bringer, Lucifer, right? Sorry, Christopher. But yeah, Lucifer means the light bringer. Luce is light and the full part is the bringer. Right? And then they say Christ the light. Yeah. So my name and Lucifer then kind of swap. Interestingly enough. Anyhow, that's just a theory I have. So please go and write maths tomorrow. Yeah, I'll take a shave, right? I'll take a shave, cut my hair and thing. I think I lost some of Fatima uniforms. Plus they're real washout. Like that gray, my gray shirt is what as gray as our wall behind it right now. Threadbare and kind of thing. Anyhow, right. Okay, cool. So we're good with the ratios, right? Now, that's just that piece there. Actually, I wanna copy this page because I want to put more information, but I don't want to clutter up the visual space, right? So we're going back. Come the man, Philip, do that. Beavis. You're meowing right now. Right, cool. Okay. So what I want to do, just give me a sec. I want to just take up. Come on, man. Philip, stop shifting. Your name is Shifip. Your name is Philip. Behave yourself. Right. Now, if anyone take a screenshot, you can take it on this page here. I'll come back. Just let me know. Right. Okay. C sec X. Okay, cool. Philip, yeah, boy, for Philip again. I know how to write spelling. Philip, no, not Philip Alexander, that one. The minister. All right, cool. No, right. Now, the next piece says the point B on MN such that MB to BN is 2 to 1. Right, so on this side now here, right? You know, should I make that orange instead? Okay, actually, you know what? I'm going to go back and make it orange because I did the writing fit in the orange, so I wanted to connect. Give me 1 sec. All right, so A is here. Okay, cool. Let's go back here now. We make that one orange as well. All right. So why is my name? You didn't say I'm way, so you explained that real good. I know how to see a video there before. Okay, let's just, yeah. Okay, the point B lies on MN. I think I cut off that piece of the word, right? Okay, so basically what we have is the same information, but just like in a kind of a switcheroo. So MN, right, is the 2/3 portion, and BN is the 1/3 portion, right? So let's just write it out. Huh? MB and then BN, sorry. Right, so first things first, let's establish. MB plus BN will give us the whole line, MN. So MB plus BN will give us the whole MN. We could agree with that? And we could also see the 2 corresponds to the MB and the BN corresponds to the 1, not so? So we could see here and state very easy that MB is actually equals to 2 times BN, not so? And if it's the other way, BN is equal to what fraction of MB? A half. Very good. Okay. Yeah, City Kid, that person there has pretty good advice. Yeah. Right, now we're not done because we're gonna talk about the ratio part of it, right? Yeah. MB is 2BN. 2 times BN. Oh. Right, so let me dig into that, right? So MB, the ratio of MB to BN is 2 to 1, right? And what do we do with the numbers in a ratio? We add them, right? 2 plus 1 is 3. So we now put each of those numbers over, right? And these are fractions of the larger line MN on which both of the vectors lie, not so? So we could state here categorically that MB is equal to 2/3 of MN, and BN is equal to how many? 1/3 of MN. MB is to free fire, yes, correct. No, nobody be even bad. Yeah. Yeah, Suki, me and Philip go back to like 2008, 2007, 2008. That is a love hate thing. Don't worry. But it's all love. All right, folks. So what we've done here is we've pulled apart just the intro information, right? So that's important because when you go to do the rest of the question, you need to have properly understood the information presented to you, right? Now you could go ahead. Sorry, ahead. All right, I just copy and paste it again, right? So like if you're going to a stadium and you have to call it a page. Over the intercom, page and page. All right. Now, expressed in its simplest form, mn in terms of x and z. So they want us to express the purple line mn in terms of x and z. Where these x and z things come from? Well, I'm seeing 2x here and I'm seeing 6z here. Right? So we want to go from m to n. And we could only travel along the lines that have vectors on them. Which lines have vectors on them? The pink line, OL, the vector there is what? 4y. The green line, which is OM, the vector there is 6z. And the blue line, which is ON, and the vector there is 2x. So we could travel along any of those three lines, the pink, green, or the blue. Now you want to go from M to N. So the first thing we could do is go from M to O, and then from O to N. So let's state that first. Yep. So big letters, M, N. To go from M to N, we could first go from M to O, and then O to N. Now, the direction along the green line is going this way. We want to go in the opposite direction. So we have to invert the vector, right? To go from M to O is the opposite of going from O to M, or rather, actually, the inverse. We communicate or express inverse. Who's that? City Kid, very good. What number of those questions come on the paper? That's the last question. Question 10, either A or B. Right? So the inverse of OM. So simply putting a minus sign in front of OM tells us, hey, we want the inverse of OM. And then to go from O to N, well, that's just ON, right? Okay, cool. And next one. Yeah, Mia, let me finish this one first, right? Okay. Right, now, what's the vector along the green line? So the inverse would be minus 6z. Agreed? And the vector along the blue line is just 2x. Right. That is it there. Right? So they want to find, expressed in its simplest form, mn in terms of x and z. So you could leave it like that. You could factorize if you want, but I wouldn't suggest. I mean, you could even write it as 2x minus 6z, but you don't have to. Sorry, that's 6x, my bad. Right? Both of those things are perfectly fine. You don't have to write both of them. One is not more correct than the other. One is not less correct. They both mean the same thing, and they both correct. All right, good. Okay, that's the first piece. So, Liam, Logan, Hanifa, if you guys are good with that first piece, let's kind of give me a quick Genie chart. Right? If you need me to re-explain, now is a good time to ask. Okay, cool. In class, people, are we okay with that first part there? Any questions? Anybody? Anything? No? Okay. So for working, do we have to write the M1 for working? I would say that that's part of a very important part of your statement here. I came out. Yeah, I'll go into the second part. Yeah? No. All right, well, so I guess I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to see if the next part might... Velissa. Let me try the second part. But long story short, we want to go from this point M to this point N, right? And we have to travel along the lines available to us, but we could only travel along the lines that have vectors, right? So to go from M to N, right? So we can't go along this line because there's no arrow on it. There's no vector on it. We have no vector for it, right? The only three lines for which we have vectors are the pink line, OL, and the vector there is 4y. The green line, which is OM, and the vector there is 6z, and the blue line, and the vector there is 2x. So we could only travel along those lines. Now, if you want to go from M to N, right, go along the lines from one point to the next. What I mean, you could go from M to O, and then from O to N. That's how you get from M to N. That's what this means. How do we get from M to N, right? You could think of a vector as a direction. How do I get from one point to the next? Via a combination of vertical and horizontal movement. You catch? All right, good. Right. Now, to go from M to O, we're actually going backwards along this line, because look at the direction, the arrow, right? So MO is the opposite or inverse of OM. So to communicate that, I put a minus sign in front of OM. The vector along OM going this way is 6z. So if I want to go in the opposite direction, I have to invert that vector. And that means simply putting a minus sign in front of it. All right? So that'll be minus 6z and simply plus 2x, because to go from O to n, I'm traveling in the same direction as that vector. So I just add it onto it. All right? So they want to go from m to n. That's correct. From m to n, yes. So do burns already. Let us here. Yes. Check my lives. Check my lives. Yeah, maths paper 2 with 50%. Multiple choice is 30 and SB is 20. Yeah, that's how it's been for a long time. Okay, next piece. Find in terms of x and y in its simplest form an expression for ln. All right, so let me come on the next slide here now, right? I'll do this one. All right, so ln. So you want an expression for ln. Now I'm working it here so we can actually see the diagram and we don't have to like scroll up and down repeatedly, right? So I want to go from L to N. Now I have a couple of different ways I could do this. I could go from L to M and then M to N. The problem with that is that I just found a vector for Mn. So I actually have a vector for Mn, right? Which is 2x minus 6. I have that, right? But do I have a vector for the orange line? No, I don't. So because I don't have that vector, I can't travel along that line. Now, which one? I'm doing 2 part A, which is ln, right? Okay, so if I want to go from L to N, I could go, right? If you follow your big letters, you go L to M and then M to N. But I don't have a vector or directions to go from L to M. I just found how to go from M to N, so I could do that. But unfortunately, I can't get here. So you have a couple options available. You could try to find a vector for LM, which is actually easy. LO plus OM, right? But if you're bothering to go from L to O and your ultimate destination is N, why not then just go from O to N, right? So to go from L to N, we will go from L to O initially, and then from O to N thereafter. I wouldn't suggest just that, but if you want to take that chance, go ahead. I would always say put the statement on the letters, right? Because what you think might be worth 1 mark mightn't be their opinion, right? They expect a certain level of expression and working, right? And honestly, like this here is a mark, and you could break it down into half marks. I mean, I got a half mark for this and a half for that, right? So don't risk losing the half mark. All right, show is the logic that's the important part, as well as the answer. Yes, fine, right. Right, so L, so again, going in this direction is the opposite direction of travel along the line, right? The vector is going this way, we want to go in the opposite direction. So we have to invert the vector, right? The vector 4y goes from O to L. We want to go from L to O. So we have to invert it, which means putting a minus sign in front of it. So going from L to O is the inverse of OL. ON, well, same direction, so nothing to change. Now, OL is 4y, so we're taking minus 4y plus 2x. And that's fine. You could stop right there, right? If you prefer to put the 2x in the front and put minus 4y behind, then fine. You could do that too. Right? Inverse, correct. How much paper 1 will do Shane? That's 30% paper 1. All right, good. So either this or this, right? So, Logam, Liam, and Hanifa, if you guys are good with that, just kind of give me a quick genie chat, please, on that, right? If you need me to re-explain that one, let me know. R is not a problem. We have a few minutes before I take the final break before. There's yo. Yeah. Well, if you want, you could pull out the 2.5x minus 2y in the bracket. You could do that, that's fine. It's not necessary, but it's fine. So you can't get extra marks, but it's not wrong, you won't lose any marks. All right? In the simplest form, that's the thing, the simplest form. But what is simple? Simple means that it could be understood by a non-maths person, per se. I'm not sure how much of this they could understand, but, you know? Anyhow, right. You don't have to always... When you say change the sign, Daniel, are you talking about like when we inverting? If you're inverting, you had to change the sign here. If you're talking about just flipping it around, no, you don't have to do that. All right, you want to take a pick of the questions? All right. 80% is paper 1. Mia? No. 80% of what? No, paper 1 plus paper 2 is 80%, yes. But paper 2 is 50% of your final mark, paper 1 is 30%. Right? It's 60 questions, a half mark each, multiple choice, right? Okay. Right, IDK. I'll scroll down, right? Right, now part B is show that AB is equal to 2/3 of that. All right, so there we go. Yo. Yeah, go ahead now. Yeah, just give me a couple of seconds to just get my colors going, right? I just like the colors is help me see things a little better or refer to them a little better. Right, okay. Let me go in a little bit more, right? I kind of ran out of colors here, guys. Sorry about that. So I just want to go back and use a different, right? Right, so show that AB is equal to 2/3 of 2x minus 4. Yeah. Just now 2/3 of is 2x plus 4y or minus 2? All right, so AB. Right, so yeah, Javi, you could go from A to L, L to O, O to N, and then N to B. Or we could go from A to M and then M to B. But to do that, we had to find a vector for LM. Is the more efficient way to do it for sure, right? All right, guys. So let me just clarify what I was saying, right? They want us to show that to go from A to B, which we could actually draw in like this. They want us to show that that there is given by the vector 2/3 of 2x minus 4y, right? So that's a little complicated looking, right? So first things first, we have to decide how we're going to get from A to B. So the easiest way is to go from A to M and then M to B. So let's say this. Let's say that AB is equal, huh? Yeah. AM plus MB. Right? So I just had a request to do it both ways. So let me just copy and paste this page one time, right? All right. Or the other way to do it, huh? Correct. Right? The other way to do it is to go from A to L, L to O, O to N, and then N to B. Alone. Ah. Right, but either way you take it, we have to travel along the orange line. And that's the only line right now for which you do have a vector. So if you have to find a vector fit, you might as well go from A to M and then M to B. Because we already have Mn, right? Okay. Well, that's not bad. I'll show you. Right? So AM, right? AM is this piece here, right? And we said on a previous page that AM is 2/3 of LM, right? Right? No, we didn't. We know how to find that. And MB lies on what larger line? The purple line, which is MN. And what fraction it is? 2/3 of. Right. Now look at this. Look at this already. Even if we don't know what LM and MN are, we could pull out what? We could just pull out the 2/3. Now look at this. If in your brackets now you have LM plus MN, right? Isn't LM plus MN LN? So this is equal to 2/3 of LN. And didn't we just find LN on the previous page? Sorry, yes. Sure, no problem. No, yeah, I was planning to recap it, right? So that we, what's that? No, it didn't get leaked. People just spreading rumors because people feel uncomfortable. Right, Sunkiss, we're going again. Cooked on this one. All right, we're going again. Yeah, question. Give me a minute, let me finish this and we'll take a look, right? Okay. So, there we go. Right. Right, so they want us to show that AB is 2/3 of 2x minus 4y. Now, we just worked ln. And ln ended up being 2x minus 4y. So it should have, if we got that, I should have clicked. Wait, I just get 2x minus 4y. So what's this 2/3 thing? Right? So if we ignore that for a second, right? So again, we want to go from where to where? A to B. The shortest path from A to B is to go from A to M and then from M to B. So let me state that. So AB is equal to AM plus MB. Oh, yeah, we're actually going on a break in like 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so see if they're outside for them now. See if they're outside. Yeah. All right, cool. All right. So AB is equal to AM plus MB. Now AM, right? AM lies on what color line? AM. Orange line. And the orange line is LM, right? And we said up here, right, that AM is 2/3 of that line because of the ratio business. AM is 2/3 of LM. We established that early on, right? So AM is 2/3 of LM. Agreed? Now MB lies on the purple line, which is MN, not so? And we already established that MB is 2/3 of MN. We did that earlier. Now here, what we saw is that the 2/3 is like a common factor, right? But you said, right, so Smiley, initially we only could have traveled on those lines, but we used those lines to find vectors for the purple and the orange line. So on this page, we found the vector for the purple line, right? So we found the vector, it was this. And then we also found the vector for the orange line, it was this, right? I should have put that color on the left-hand side as orange. So yes, we could only travel, I said we could only travel along the lines for which we have vectors. So initially we only had vectors on the pink, the green, and the blue. But we then used those vectors to find the purple and the orange. So after you find the purple, it's like unlocking a path in a video game, right? So before you unlock the path, you had to go all the long way around, be the boss. And then after you be the boss, say, hey, I could pass through here now, right? What are we doing next session? Well, we were supposed to do bearings, and people keep asking for circle geometry, right? Anyhow, right? 2/3 LM plus 2/3 MN. The common factor is 2/3, right? So when you pull out 2/3, what's left? LM plus MN. And LM plus MN is the same as going from L straight to N. So this is 2/3 of Ln. And in the previous part of the question, we found the vector for Ln as 2x minus 4y. Sorry, I wrote the wrong thing. See, 2x minus 4y, right? Right. So having done it that way, we've shown what was required, so you can put a little square. Right. Smiley. Okay, cool. Right. Next session. Well, it's supposed to be 6:30, but I'm still working. So yeah. There, come now. All right, Javid, give me a minute, right? Oh, sorry. AB is 2/3 of Ln. Yes. Oh, okay. This is actually where that Javi is asking about now, right? So it'll be minus a third of that. Right? So if that was minus 4y plus 6z. So right, so to go from you're going the long way, right? So it'll be AL, which is minus a third of that. Okay, cool. All right, hold on. What's next? AB. Right, and when you pull out the 2, you get the same thing, right? When you pull out the 2, you get 2x minus 4y, right? Yeah, it should be good. It should be all right. It just it went the further way, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 pieces, right? So that's a straight 2x, that's a straight minus 4y, right? I see I have a plus there. I see the minus down here, right? And then, right, so then we have to have a minus that as the n as well as mn, right? Okay. So did the 1/3 and the 1, right? Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. All right. Okay, cool. You don't have to put a little box now. I mean, they said show that. So actually, yeah, when they actually just show that something is something, then you put the box to show that, hey, we finished there. Measurements was done already. Yeah, measurements we did earlier today. Check one of the previous live from today. The first one, I think. Thank you. Right, Javi. All right, Javi, ready for me? Okay. So the longer way to do this question is as follows, right? To go from A to B, right? We could go from A to L, L to O, O to N, and then N to B. So AL plus LO plus ON plus NB. Okay. Now, the sum of the, so you're not tired, here's the one. Pritavi, I have been tired for the past 2.5 years, so you just need to live with it. But I need to fix that. But yeah, right. So AL, now AL lies on what line? What color line? Orange, right? And what does LM? Now we want to go this way, and LM goes this way, not so? Okay. So we had to invert the vector, and on top of that, this piece here is 1/3 of the whole line, right? Right. So this is equal to minus 1/3 of LM plus LO plus ON. And this piece here is also minus 1/3 of MN. Yeah, Peter V. Thank you very much. Right. So right. So check this, right? You could do it the long way where, okay, so we found LM as 2x minus 4, right? And then MN was 2x minus 6z, right? So you can plug those two things in, but let me show you a slightly smarter way to work it, right? So imagine you pull out. So you pull out your minus ones as like a common factor. And LM plus MN is the same as LN, right? And LO plus ON is also LN. So here we have LN minus 1/3 of LN, which gives us 2/3 of LN. So instead of having to expand all of that with X and Y and V and Z and thing, right? Work it from the big letter perspective first. Right? No. All right, guys. Right. So we have one more thing. So based on your results in part 2, state 2 geometric properties relating LN and AB. 2 geometric properties relating LN and AB. The vector for LN is 2x minus 4y, right? The vector for hold on, this is what and LN and AB Well, we found AB, right? So AB was 2/3 of that, right? You ever consider that people who find English easy automatically find maths hard? Because they find English easy? Hold on. Who said that? Who? Hold on. Is it people who've sat all the exams, like from 1990 something, come forward to test that theory? Who's done that? Right. So some people gravitate more naturally to English than maths and vice versa. So if that's the case, it might just have been people doing the past papers and noticing something that they may have noticed. It mightn't be true. Anyhow, yeah. What's that?
They should make and one form of creative subject matter. So you could pick between literature, social studies, that kind of thing.
All right.
I wrote a whole essay on it, and I was like, really, actually, I should make this. It makes more sense in my essay.
Right. Just 1 second, right? So we've established here a scalar relationship existing between AB and Ln, correct? Yeah. Okay. When vectors have a scalar relationship, they are parallel. So they are parallel. Right? And in the same direction. You could say that too. All right, for it. So next week, right? Come on.
Yeah.
Right? And then, well, this one here, that's also a relationship, right? A geometric. Well, it's not a property, yeah, but I mean, technically, yeah. 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 When I got here, I factorized. Question. This piece here? No, it's cool. We cleared it up already. Yeah. All right. I will write Creole answer. All right. Okay. Liam, Logan, and Hanifa. Let me just re-explain, right? The question says, I said, based on your results in part 2, state 2 geometric properties relating Ln and AB. So the first thing I did was write over the vectors for Ln and AB. What we could see is that Ln is actually piece in the working of AB. And it says specifically that AB is 2/3 of Ln. So you could literally say that. That's one of the geometric properties, right? AB is 2/3 of Ln. But what we also call this a scalar relationship between the vectors. That one vector is some number times the other one. It could be a whole number, it could be a fraction, it could be positive, it could be negative, right? But once one vector is a multiple of the other vector, there's a scalar relationship that exists. And when there's a scalar relationship, we know that they are parallel, right? Further, if the scalar is positive, they are parallel in the same direction. All right? Okay. So I hope that helps to clarify. I know I kind of went on a bit long there. Sorry about that. Right? Sean gave me a red card. What I got a red card for, boy? Oh, it's me or Free Fire? For the Creole. It's the Creole. All right. All right, folks. Taking a short dinner break there. We'll try and resume at 6:30. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we stay in live. All right. So can one property be collinear? All right. So C sec X. Collinear refers to points. It refers to when there are points that lie on the same straight line, right? So collinear, as far as I know, cannot refer to vectors, right? Collinear points could lie on a vector, right? Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna need
No, we don't have vectors. They asked for bearings, but I pulled out some graph questions from question 8 that I want to definitely go through, and they said they want to do that. All right. Okay. Cool. So, yeah. YouTube and TikTok, I am logging off a little bit, right? Logan, Liam, and Hanifa are logging off too, but I'll come back in the same chat.
Minus